Today's been one of those days where I've been juggling all the balls all day long. And it's days like that when we've got all the things flying in the air that we tend to drop balls somewhere. And it's going to happen. You just have to accept it's a given, right? So today I have been having meetings on and off throughout the day. I've had mentoring clients who I've been assisting with certain things throughout the day. And I've also been doing some homeschooling with my kids today. And I have had snippets of time where I've really just wanted to drill into some ideas that I need to break down for my own planning and goal setting. You know, I've been talking quite a bit lately about goal setting. So today's a really good example of what it's like, no matter what your day is made up of, no matter what the balls are that you're juggling. It's a good example of how it can be as a business owner trying to keep all those balls in the air throughout the course of a single day, week, month, whatever period of time you're talking about. And what we need to do is sometimes just find a moment to step back and breathe and check in with ourselves. So I started my day at 6 o'clock this morning. I wasn't feeling particularly well this morning, so I wasn't off to a great start. But I started my day at 6. I went for my walk. I had my 6 a.m. meeting that I have most days with a small group of business professionals, and got back to the house and spent 5 minutes just writing a list of the 3 things I really wanted to achieve today. That set my day onto a better footing. That allowed me just those 5 minutes to breathe and focus, allowed me enough time to make sure that I knew where I was heading today. And then what I've done today with the rest of all of the things, so there've been all sorts of things. Staff members needing urgent support, questions from the office, questions from mentoring clients, meetings, kids needing to be fed and educated, all sorts of things that have been occurring in a non-predictable fashion today. Some things were predictable, so there were some meetings slotted in, and I knew I had windows of time where I could achieve certain things between those meetings. So it was on me to keep conversations that were unexpected, to keep those conversations on point and targeted and focused and as brief as was appropriate. Obviously giving attention to things that need giving attention to, but staying on target with those things with the bigger picture of my day in mind. So knowing I had other things to achieve today that were equally important in most cases. So having a look at what your day plan, now you don't have to have a full structure nutted out for every 15 minutes of your day, but if you know what meetings you've got, if you know what the unmovables are, in other words, knowing what pockets of time you've got in between, knowing which interruptions you'll accept. So when a staff member rings me in crisis, I am available, full stop. When my email inbox is pinging at me, I'll put the silence. I'll turn off the notifications because those things can wait. I know if there's a crisis, someone will ring me. But email doesn't get to interfere with a day where I'm juggling a whole lot of balls. Spending some time educating my kids was a real priority for me today. And we spent some really good quality focused time doing all sorts of things, handwriting practice, bit of maths, bit of all sorts of bits and pieces that strung together to make for a really good quality, focused, my full attention on those tasks with the kids. And we got a couple of hours of really good solid work done. And then we've got a plan for a bit later today to do some baking. Now, in between that stuff, I love doing these things, right? I love it. In between all of those things, when the kids are having a break or when I know I've got some downtime, I sit down with pen and paper and I nut out the ideas that are flowing through my head. Today I've got a head full of ideas, and I get like this sometimes where I've got balls in the air, ideas pummeling my brain. How do I get those ideas and grab them by the ankles so they don't float away. So I keep pen and paper handy. So when I am in the middle of a meeting or I am in the middle of doing something else, I can easily, quickly jot down 1 or 2 words so I don't forget that idea. Now, I've already been nutting out some very cool things actually that I'm planning to launch very, very soon. And one of those, I'll give you a little heads up, because one of those things is I'm looking at bundling together a number of my programs for 2020, and I'm looking at a December offer, which I might even launch before December, where you can buy a bundle of my programs. So little heads up, if you already know that you might be interested in something like that, shoot me a message so that I make sure you don't miss out. But things like that, on a day like today where I've got balls in the air all over the place, spending 5 minutes this morning to nut out my 3 priorities, keeping my eyes on my diary so I don't lose track of where I have unmovable things like meetings, keeping interrupting conversations on target, to the point, and as brief as is appropriate, and making sure I have opportunities throughout the day to jot down any ideas as they come to light. And then when I do have a chunk of time, even 15 minutes is enough to sit with a coffee and scribble out some further, or flesh out those ideas a bit further, then that's what I'll do. So it's the middle of the afternoon. I've still got a chunk of the day left at my disposal. I'm going to do some baking with the kids, but I'm also going to nut out these ideas, particularly this idea for the bundle of programs for launching any minute now. Keep your eyes open. Nutting out some ideas for the year ahead, so that when I come in the next few days, I'll be sitting down planning 2020 and locking dates in for a whole bunch of things. I'll go into that planning session with myself a bit more organized. So when you've got lots of balls in the air, and we all do as business owners, it's about providing yourself with little strategies and little tools to keep your focus as clear as you can be on a day when you've got lots of things interfering or lots of things happening all at once. I hope that's helpful. Have a great day.